Yeah, thank you so much, Chief Moon that Walks. This is truly an honor. Truly an honor.
Okay.
And I start smoking it, yeah.
The two of you lock lips around this gigantic pipe. Oh, sorry. Barely find myself very funny. Anyways, on either side, the two of you puff on either side of the pipe, and he takes it away. He nods, and
I go, you suck pretty well, sir.
it's been in my family for many generations, the talents of what we do. I have one more gift for you as well. And he touches his thumb to your forehead, and inside your head, you rapid learn the ability to morph into sea creatures. You actually now picture a whale, a dolphin, a
Great.
fucking sea lion, a squid. You see these animals just jut into your brain, and you have been bestowed with the ability to morph into sea creatures.
Perfect. I'll jot that down.
Okay.
To show my gratitude, I morph into a sea lion and bark at him.
Do you, do you actually?
Yes.
All right. So you guys, this weird pipe ceremony happens, then a thumb touches a forehead, and all of a sudden, Token turns into a creature that most of you probably have never seen.
Oh yeah.
It's a large, bulbous mass of flesh, and he just starts going at the chief moon that walks, who seems completely comfortable with this and just nods. But what do you guys do?
At this point, I'm like, okay, great. He's fucking smoking again. So I look at him before he turns. All of a sudden, he magically turns into this big fat thing. I'm like, fuck this. I'll be outside. This is fucked up. I'll be outside. Let me know when you guys want to kill some people. And I exit back outside.
Chief,
I'm wide-eyed and entranced, and as the seal barks and claps, so do I. Yes.
Go ahead, Rod.
Chief, I know the ritual of your people. I see you both sucking, and I both can know that you are both, very experienced in this matter. But by knowing your people's history, I also know that you like to experiment in ayahuasca, and I am going to suggest that Token's current form do the second level of traditions for your people and take the ayahuasca.
What do you mean by your people?
And I'm just sitting there barking at Rod as he says that.
Rod. As if for the first time, Chief Moon that Walks kind of regards you and makes his way over to you and says, "Your face has been wounded by a spirit of great power. I have a remedy for you if you wish." Do you wish, Rod?
I wish. Double
He
dose.
goes to his tent and he comes out and he puts on the ground kind of what looks like an odd collection of leaves and kind of different things, like a couple of twigs. There seems to be some feathers in there, some hair. He puts it on the ground. He gets down, kind of hunched over, and you can't see what he's doing, but you can see his arms kind of motioning and like pushing it together. And then he stands up and opens his breeches and then urinates onto the pile of things that he had brought out. He then picks up. Well, he covers himself afterwards. Picks up this muddied cluster of things and starts to make his way to your face. Do you do anything?
No. I sit there and I await what's going to come to me because I fully believe in the chief and what he has promised me, and I know that he would never wrong me.
Okay. So he makes his way over to you. He starts to kind of slather it onto your face, and he starts rubbing it in there. He kind of half closes his eyes, and you can hear a low hum of just. He's just kind of pushing this on your face.
You guys
And
gotta
then
turn your cams back on, by the way.
Oh, we gotta turn cams back on.
Yeah. Just hit the little camera button.
And then he backs away from you and raises his hands to the sky and says, "Great Sky Mother Eagle, if you could please lift the wounds off of young Rod Breslau's face." And then he looks down at the ground and says, "Squirrels, please carry away his pain." And may the ocean wash you as well. And then he goes over to you and he kind of brushes off the stuff from your face and it falls to the ground. And then he clasps your shoulder and says, "You are free to go now."
How is my face?
Still horribly burnt.
Does it feel better?
I had a hallucinogenic experience as it was being smeared on my face. I went into another world. I had all of my demons lift from my body, and I believed that my face would be healed. I actually believe my face is healed.
Okay.
So in
you
my
believe
mind,
your
it
face
is.
healed. Okay. So Spec Person the Third says, it's time to go, and he kind of leads you guys off. Thank you very much, Chief, and then you guys walk away. And just up the hill is Old Man McDirtybutt's tower. And as you make your way up there, you're noticing that along the way, there's like a color change. It's green and springy, not super happy or anything like that, but normal. But as you get closer, 100 yards and in to varying degrees, dead trees, dead plants. The dirt is dry. It becomes much more decrepit. And as you get closer and closer, there's even dead there's and right outside the door, there's actually a full-blown dead moose next to it, half skeletized, and there's no maggots, no flies, nothing. It's just completely dead. What do you guys do?
Well, still being in the sea creature form, you see my solid black eyes of the seal turn so large that you're all strucken with cuteness. Even Scooticus, who's never seen something so cute before in his entire life, and a small tear rolls down the side of my face upon looking at the moose, and I'm deeply saddened by this occurrence, and I just sit there and stare at it and wait to see what everyone else does.
Can I use detect magic here? Because there's some weirdness going on.
Sure. Roll for
Alright, yeah. And that's a +3, right?
Yes.
Is that in? Yeah.
Boom. So you get a
Yes.
success. So you start twinkling. You do magic hands as you're walking closer, and the closer you're getting to this tower, the more powerful of a sense you get that magic is emanating from this place. There's definitely a magic user or magic itself.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I turn to the group and I say, guys, there's definitely magic here, and we got to be careful going forward. But we can't stop here because the floor is going to be lava.
So you guys walk up to the door. To give you an idea of what this place looks like, it looks like the town is mostly like stone and wood with some mud between and kind of grassy tops with wood, rafters type of thing. Nothing super fancy. No armaments or big castle. It's not a full large town. But this place is a bit of a place of legend because this would be the biggest building. This would be the nicest building if it was upkept at all. But it's not a castle by any means. It's just it would be like a mansion, like a big tower mansion. And there is one single spire in the back of this thing that kind of goes way up to the heavens. And much like the surrounding, as you get closer to it, you'll notice there's actually like very dark clouds over it. No lightning, no thunder, no rain, nothing like that. But it's just darker here. You get kind of a foreboding, cold, deathly feel here. It's just not good.
Sure.
And you come up, and there's two large, singular, making a double door. No inscription over the top, so everyone recognizes this place. There's no windows. There's bars leading in, but it's or bars barring like pothole type window things around it. But the path kind of leads up to this door, and it stops there. And what do?
I turn to Spec Guy the Third and go, tell us all you know about what's inside. Have you been inside before? You're from here. Give us some scoop here, brother.
I don't want to backseat DM too much, but there is a rule for where Scott could just do this himself. So you don't have to ask the DM. There's a thing called Discern Realities, and you roll plus wisdom. And then there's 6 questions that you can ask depending on how well you roll, and the GM has to tell you whatever the answer is truthfully. The question
Well, yeah, that's good. What I would tell you though is it's a good asset to have Spec Person the Third here, so he can ask
Sure,
him. But
totally.
what he can't answer, I think you should do that ability. So Scuticus asked this, and Spec Person the Third says, "Well, Spec Person the Third has been hunting this necromancer for a long time. We also have tracked him here, and I can tell you he's very powerful. Well, I've never seen him, but I've been close. He usually has undead forces with him. Not a lot, mind you, but very, very scary and powerful monsters. He's no joke. He's a tough cookie."
Okay.
Okay.
Still
Can
being
we kill him? I mean,
Yeah.
is he killable here, or like it's a suicide mission? Spec guy.
Friend, Spec Person the Third would like to tell you, I am an honorable knight, but I am no suicidal soldier. I'm here to do a mission, and I believe we can do it.
Guys, I'm beginning to grow suspicious. I really feel like we're starting to play into somebody else's hand here because this is a crappy place to be, and Spec doesn't seem frightened enough. Can we discern realities here?
Ooh.
If you want to do that, I would assume you
Yeah.
cast it. Or you,
Yeah, I
sorry,
cast it,
you roll for it.
I do it.
I did 6 plus with
It's your whatever your
1.
wisdom is, which
Yeah. Nope.
it's 13, so you should be rolling at a +1, so 2d6 plus 1.
So that's a partial. What do I do, JP?
So on a partial, you get to ask one question from the list that I just posted in Skype.
Okay.
You can ask what happened here recently, what is about to happen, what should I be on the lookout for, what here is useful or valuable to me, who's really in control here, and what here is
What
not
is
what it
here
appears to be.
that? What here is not what it appears to be. I need to know.
So you ask. So this is a power you're doing. So right?
And it's basically it's done out of game, and the DM has to answer 100% truthfully to whatever is
What
asked.
here is not what it appears to be. I mean, I'm not even trying to lawyer this. I would just tell you that you get a strong sense that Spec Person the Third is exactly what he seems to be, a good guy, just a good knight.
All right. He
'Cause
didn't
up
appear
until
to be,
now,
but he
that's
is.
Yeah.
Touché.
All right, friends. Spec Person the Third seems it's time to go in here. Are you all behind me?
Yeah, let's send Corwin in first though, because he's the least important character we have.
Corwin
so I
looks
say,
to Rod.
I do
So
2
he goes
marks
first.
in agreement. Thank you, Joe.
Rod, Corwin looks at you.
Corin, you've been a great use to me thus far, but you're going in first.
Warrior Jesus would want it to happen this way.
If
I also
that
turn
is
to
what-
Token and give him the kind of the what the fuck look, like
I
you
pull
maybe-
one flipper up as if I'm looking for like some sort of high five.
like, hey, I don't know if you understand the language coming out of my mouth, but can you maybe change back? Because you're not very menacing there, whatever you are.
Sure. When he says that, I change back to my normal form, and I just kind of like roll my eyes at him. I say, "Corin, the door, please."
We have 3 minutes till a break, right?
Yeah, there. Well, no, we're about 14 minutes out.
Oh, 14. Okay.
Yeah.
Corwin, kind of makes the sign of the cross, clasps his hands, bows his head, and after about 40 seconds, he looks back up, and you can see him breathe deeply, pulls out his sword, and shoves the doors open. They give way, they open, and inside is a fairly dark, kind of stony, woody place with a double winding staircase leading up to another double door. Below it is kind of a dark archway. It's lit with sconces and torches that are actually lit, by the way. There's a door on either side. So door to the left, door to the right, archway in the center, and then double staircase up. But that's all something you'll come to realize, because what you actually see, first and foremost, is the place is absolutely covered in gigantic webbing. It's a very... it looks like it hasn't been touched in a while. And there's just spider webs everywhere. Not so much that it's like it's obstructing all your view, but it's definitely so alarming that you see this first and foremost. So with that, Corwin opens the door, looks back at you guys, gives a nod, and then walks forward. And it's not too much further that he has to go before he has to start kind of cutting through the webbing to make sure that he can walk. And he first kind of cuts at it to thinking it's just old webbing, it's just going to go away, so he can just slash through it. But he actually gets his sword stuck in it at first, is able to muscle it out, but then is like, like this is really strong webbing, and then he starts to have to really hard hack at it, and that's what he's going about. What do you guys do?
I look around. Did anyone bring a torch? You got
I
fire?
can cast light, and so I shall. A torchlight equivalent that is not hot and is any color I choose, which is white, bright white.
So I'm just like, does anyone have a torch? And all of a sudden, this light just appears in front of us, and I'm just like, great, great.
She starts dancing her fingers again, and just a source of light appears in front of her, which really lights up the room. And as she does that, you guys all can feel in the floor like a shuddering all of a sudden, like a surprised jolt of movement from something big enough to literally move everything in the room. And you hear a bit of a scree, kind of like a like a pretty animal-like scree, but it sounds kind of far off. And as Corwin's hacking through the web, you guys can start to see the webs all start to kind of vibrate a little bit more as time goes on.
Fucking spiders, man. Fucking spiders.
So I have some powers. I use guidance to show us what we should go.
Okay,
Ooh, whoever drew that, very nice, thank you. Yeah,
look that
use your
up.
power.
Anytime.
Are you casting Orison for guidance, or are you casting the spell guide? Oh, you're casting the rote guidance. Okay. So that is the symbol of your deity appears before you and gestures. I can't say the fucking word. Towards the direction of the course of action your deity would have you take, and then disappears. The message is through gesture only. Your communication through the spell is severely limited. So Jeff, you can do with that what you want.
Okay, so limited communication of what's to come.
Yeah, basically whatever Rod was, he beckons you toward the direction of the course of action your deity would have you take, and then disappears. That's what Rod's looking to do with it.
Okay, so roll a dice, Rod.
This just happens. There's no.
Oh, it
dice
just
roll.
happens?
Yeah.
And it's so that the deity leads him in the direction of where he's supposed to go?
Where the deity wants him to
Gestures
go.
towards, so that sounds like a
Yeah.
pointing or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rod, in your vision,
I don't think you do.
everything seems pretty normal, but straight ahead, the archway is dark, but it takes on kind of you have low light vision of it right now. It's glowing. It's like your vision makes it look like you can see in the dark. It's glowing green.
Green.
Okay, anybody else? Quick actions here?
I'm focusing on maintaining the light.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna steel myself for combat, so I guess I would pull my sword out of its sheath, so I'm battle ready. But I'm just hanging out.
Scoot, one action that you can make that I don't know if you know about, you can defend, and you can defend a certain area. So you roll 2d6 plus con, and depending on what you get, you can redirect an attack from the thing you defend yourself. You can have the attack's effect or damage. You can open up the attacker or an ally to giving that ally +1 forward against each other, or deal damage to the attacker equal to your level. If you want to do that, I'm just throwing out options here that are in the game.
I'm not gonna do any of that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just kind of wait to see what's happening to Corwin inside, in terms of tokens move. So I guess we're all just kind of waiting to see what happens to this poor soul.
You guys are standing there. The webbing is shaking more. Corwin's out by himself, kind of hacking away. And then, so you've got the double spiral staircase and then like high rafters leading up. You hear that scree again, but it's a lot closer. And then coming out from the rafters, over like kind of the higher end, comes an absolutely massive spider. It is a good 15 feet in diameter in all ways, in a circle, just gigantic, glistening black with a red orb below it. Huge mandibles that look, I mean, it looks like it could chew through your waist in one fell swoop, just a big bite. And it comes spilling out over the webway, and it makes its quick way, drops down from the ceiling down to the middle of the floor, and is now in front of all of you. And as that happens, the doors slam shut behind you, and it eats Corwin.
Yes. Just like we wanted.
It drops down right on top of him, and its front two limbs grab him and scoot him towards the mouth, and it just bites down to his waist, and he's gone. What do you do?
I turn to Rod Breslau and say, Warrior Jesus didn't do shit for him, buddy. The door's still open, Jeff?
Oh, they
No,
slammed
door
shut.
slammed shut.
Okay, I turn into let me think. I'll think for a second. I start like trying to communing with something as if I'm going to turn into something. Everyone else can make an action if they want.
I also point at Rod and laugh and go, "Where's your god now?" But at the same time, I I yell, "Fuck it, YOLO," and I run towards that red orb you mentioned at its belly, which would appear to me to be maybe a vulnerable point. So I'm gonna go after the spider because it's what I do.
All right. So your sword's already out. You said that you're ready for combat, and you see a weak spot. It's not like it has its belly forward at you, so you're gonna have to make a way to its side. But you do just that, and go ahead and roll for. How do you do this, JP? Oh no, I have actions too, don't I?
Yeah, what is Scoots looking to do? Sorry, I was reading.
I need
He
to
wants to
attack
attack
this
the
spider.
Yeah, so you just roll the normal action for that is
That's
hack
your
and
attack.
slash. When you attack an enemy in melee, roll plus strength on a d10. You deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may choose to do 1d6 damage but expose yourself to the enemy attacks. On a 7-9, you deal damage to the enemy and the enemy makes an attack against you. So this is basically, if you fail, Scott, you're going to get hit. I just want to make that aware to
Yeah, yeah. Well, everyone else is a bunch of pussies, so I got to go for
you.
it.
There you go. You're the fighter,
again,
man.
So it would be the again standard 2d6
2d6
plus 3 for me.
Yep. 10 plus, you deal
now-
your damage, no problem. 7 to 9, it's a partial success. You deal damage, but they deal damage to you. 6 or lower, you take damage and do nothing else.
Okay, and then if I do actually damage it, then we start looking at my serrated blade, and it gives me a
Yes.
plus
Oh, yeah.
one, all that
Then
shit.
we
right?
go
Okay.
into all that, yep.
Okay, cool. So 2d6 plus 3, here we go. YOLO.
Oh, nailed it.
Oh,
So, you do 10 damage as a fighter, right? Your first page says D10.
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 And you take, it's plus 1 for having a serrated blade, right?
It
Yeah.
has 3 armor, by the way. So you do 2
And I have
piercing,
plus
so
2
it's now at
piercing.
1 armor. So it'll be
Okay.
-1 from what you roll from here.
Okay, we'll add that in afterwards.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just
D10
a
plus 1.
D10 plus 1, unless you can find any other bonus that I'm not.
That's what I'm looking at. And I got plus 2 piercing, plus 1 damage.
No.
And
I think that's
I
it.
do on my hack and slash with the scent of blood. My next attack will do something different, but I got to attack him again for that to happen. So
Sure.
All right. So then what do? I'm rolling now for
D10
damage.
plus 1.
D10 plus 1, yep.
Okay. So stand by. Oh wait, I screwed that up. Hang on, I put
8.
3.
We'll just
That
do.
doesn't count.
We'll just say it's 8.
Yeah.
Roll it
Well,
well.
well, wait. Did that
So
work?
you do 8 damage. So here's what happens. You see this weak spot. You do a barrel roll to the side. It's stabbing down with its digits, its legs, and it's trying to hit you, but you're far too good of a warrior for that. And you actually swipe with your piercing sword. It's got serrated edges, and you've specially trained you're very good at stabbing beneath armor. And you cut at it, and its abdomen spills open, and a lot of its entrails spill out, and it seems to take massive damage, and it screeches again and kind of backs away from you and pulls its limbs within itself in kind of a defensive posture. But it's got all its attention on you right now. And so just so we're clear, you rolled an 8, but it has 3 armor. You have 2 piercing, but it does have 3 armor, so you actually do 7 damage to it. Okay?
Cool. I figure out what animal I'm going to turn into. I'm going to roll first to see how well I do this. 10. So I get a hold of plus 3. I turn into a giant crab with my pincers. I'm walking through the webs and just like clearing all of them up with my pincers.
Just so you know, though, by giant crab, you are quite large, but you are still like, unless you can find this creature for me, you're like 4 feet, in diameter.
Oh, I can find a giant crab for you. Hold on. They found one recently. Giant crab. Giant spider crab is what I'm looking for.
I'm supposed to give you 3 abilities.
Yes, I have 3 hold. Let's see. Is it 3 abilities? GM may
whatever you
also
said.
tell you one or more moves associated with your new form. So you can tell me however many moves I have.
I'm gonna say you have the piercing thing. I can't remember what that one's called, but your armor penetration's way better.
Okay.
It's like +3 armor penetration, we'll say.
Okay, cool. All right, Jeff, here's your... Oh, Jesus, that's a fucking link. Does that work when you click on that?
Yeah, of course.
There's
Okay, there it
the
is.
spider
You're actually
crabs.
quite large. You start clearing the webs. That's just fine. Your attack's going to be D6, I'll say, but
Yeah, yeah.
+3 or +3 for penetration.
Okay, cool.
So do you want to make an attack, or you just
No,
turn
no,
into this? I guess that's your one move.
I'm just going around the I'm just going around the
Okay.
room, clearing up all the webs with my claws.
All right, Rod, Barnacle,
I've waited my whole life for this. I want to cast Magic Missile.
do it.
And I'm going to do it with my Greater Empowered Magic from my advanced moves.
Okay.
So
Still got to roll
that's-
2d6 plus 3.
I'll definitely do that. All right, that's a
Boom.
10.
Nailed it.
And then, well, on 10 or 11, I have the option to choose from 7 to 9 and also pick from. All right, so unfortunately, I'm going to draw unwelcome attention, but I'm also going to double the spell's effects.
Okay, roll the damage.
All right, well, that.
What
is
is
that
the damage
2d6
of that?
again?
It should
No,
say the damage on the spell. Let me see.
Totally does. 2d4.
So you roll
Yeah.
44 if you're doubling it. Jesus, that's strong.
Yeah, that's magic missile everywhere. Okay, so
11.
you fire off your light goes out, I imagine, because you can't do both. But
Oh no, as long as it's in my presence, it's cool. I thought. No. Are we in the
guess so.
darkness now?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't matter. There's
Okay.
lights lit anywhere. But if that's the case, then okay, your light's still going.
Yeah.
You wizard hand a little bit and then push out. This projectile comes from your hands, and it's pretty sparkling and magnificent, and looks like Jubilee's power. And the spider just gets battered by it, and then explodes from within. Its limbs fly everywhere, and the half-digested upper torso of Corrin actually splatters at Rod's feet. But the rest of the spider is just gore against the wall, and you have absolutely crushed the monster.
Cool. And if it's okay with you, Jeff, we're right on the hour, so we can take a break
Yep.
here. Cool.
That's great.
Rod, I'll answer your questions via Skype during the break.
High five to Barnacle.
Yeah, high five, Barnacle.
Yeah.
I
That's better.
one of my
Thanks, guys.
pincers
Way
comes
to
up
finish
and
it.
I just like claw at her.
Click, click.
I won. I won. Good job, everybody.
Rod Breslau walks in with his hammer. It's just like, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break, guys. We'll go to the final hour after this. Thanks for watching Roleplay One Shots. We'll be right back.